Welcome back everyone to episode number 19 of my Bloodborne Ultimate Walkthrough. Today we're going to be completing the Nightmare of Mensis and defeating the boss Mergo's wet nurse. So let's go ahead and head back to the middle floor. Alright, and so the first thing we're going to want to do is head up these stairs right here. Extend our weapon because we've got 3 enemies that we want to do sweeping attack for. There we go. And make sure that we grab this loot right here. Bloodstone chunks, baby. So we're about to be headed over there, and this bridge here has a couple of those walking eyeball creatures that deal a lot of frenzy damage. So we're going to want to make sure that we equip some sedatives before we get to the bridge. Alright, from this point on I'm going to keep my axe at its normal state. You'll have some bad guys walking over here, don't worry about engaging them. This elevator room right here, we can't access this just yet. So what we're going to do is step on this here. And you'll see how the door is open. We've got this window right here that we're going to roll onto. And just go all the way down to the end. And we're going to get this inflicted organ. This is actually a chalice item. So we can see we've got one of those creatures wandering over there. What we're going to do immediately is head over to this. Now, we have the advantage because we're going to be able to deal enough damage with our R2 attack that we should be able to continue to swing through until they die. Now, that is only true if we get the proper jump on the enemy. We're not talking about a charged up attack, but just a single R2 attack is enough to stagger and continue to follow that up. So they're going to see us. It's really impossible to truly sneak up on these guys. So I'm just going to run right when it starts returning the other way. I'm going to run at it. So once it crosses that threshold, I don't want it to stop moving and then have me get blocked. And I missed. There we go. Alright, well this is good. So immediately use your sedative, cleanse that shit. I guess it's good that we show you a example of how to do this terribly. Alright. And I'm gonna go at this full health now. And that's what it should look like, and you're always going to want to use that sedative. Even if it's half buildup, it's still very likely to reach the end of its meter. It continues to build up. Alright, so that's what it should look like. I made the mistake of running in without targeting the enemy first, and so I of course swung right beside it once it stopped moving. It's pretty rare that you face enemies that just completely stand still, but that's what this enemy will do because its power is just looking at you. Like literally, it doesn't care if it's taking damage. It just wants to see you. Alright, so we should grab this item here. And then there's going to be 2 more of these enemies. However, we should only have to face one at a time. And so what I like to do is get about the same position. Now there's an opening there. That doesn't mean anything, don't worry about that. But there's an opening there, a little hole in this. So if you stand in front of that, it's definitely going to see you. Alright, so that's what we want. Remember, we're not trying to be conservative with sedatives here. We can always get more of those. In fact, you should have plenty to get you through the rest of the game. So don't just sit there and try to see if not using a sedative you can get away with it, because your blood vials are way more important to you. All right, so this one kind of stands a little bit farther back, but once you approach a little bit, it'll begin its roam. See if we can get it start moving a little bit. Huh. Doesn't seem to be the case right now. All right, so again, all we want to do is get the attacks on it. It's that easy. Alright, so that's an important item right there. Make sure to grab that. It's going to be very beneficial for us. And now we've got, I believe, 4 of these enemies in here. They're very easy. You can use pebbles to kind of drag them, but they don't have like a huge aggro radius, and they seem to stick to their path. So this guy over here is the one I like to take out first, and that little guy in the middle will just continue to circle around that. So once he's got his back turned, I go in, and then you can back out. Now again, these things aren't really dangerous, so you don't need to be extra careful, but I would say the next best guy to attack is this one. And if you approach it the same way, if you wait for the guy in the middle to continue to circle around, it basically plays out in the same fashion. I guess you could call these bowl cut spiders. They look pretty ridiculous in my opinion, but sure. I mean, they'd still terrify the shit out of me if it was real, right? Alright, last one. Again, don't need to be extra cautious, but you might as well play it safe. No reason to waste blood vials if you don't have to. Okay, let's go ahead and grab this item. And head on through here. Alright, so directly ahead of us is what we're focused on. Don't worry about that opening in the floor. What you'll see below us is this giant eyeball thing, and that is actually what was dealing damage to us as we approached this area, if you remember a few episodes back. And you can see over there, there's tons of loot to gather from all the victims that thing has killed. So what we're going to do is operate the device. Let me get this little cutscene here. That doesn't look like a good place to go. Alright, so that has dropped down. That is no longer a threat to us. What we can do here is drop below. Now there's going to be another one of those walking eyeball creatures down here, but it's on the other side of where we're going to land. So we want to immediately take cover and then plan out our approach. I would suggest going to the left once we drop, because to the right of where we're facing right now, there are 2 of those bowl cut spider dudes. Again, not a threat, but it's really the frenzy creature that we're worried about. So there it is. This is good that it's headed that way because we can immediately walk across here. Don't fall here, you're going to die. Same thing that we did before. Good. The hard part is over. Go ahead and heal up from your fall damage. Shouldn't need sedatives anymore, unless I'm forgetting about something, so just swap to pebbles for now. The choir bell is a multiplayer item. It's used for healing, so that would be nice for you and your allies if you ever do play online. So we'll go ahead and cross over here. And we'll deal with these dudes. There you go. And as you can see, they do drop bullets. I'm not sure why, but that seems to be their thing. All right. So down here, there's actually no danger for us. So all we're going to do is free loot all these dead guys. I think the loot pretty much starts here. You can look behind if you want, but I'm pretty confident that it just begins with all these dudes right here. It's pretty understandable how all these people died. We tried to cross the bridge without killing that. Basically the same thing would happen to us if we didn't well, you technically don't kill it, actually. You just drop it down into the, I guess we'll call it an abyss. That's what it looked like, at least. Alright. Grab all the loot. Now, of course, there's lots of bloodstones and upgrade items, and I'm not thinking of the proper terminology, but items that you equip with your weapons that would benefit a variety of builds. We haven't put most of those to use because we're going with a very basic build that pretty much anybody can use. So a lot of these items would be good for you after you win the game or you start hitting the diminishing returns period of investment on your current build, and then you can start investing in more of a multi-use build. So we're kind of close to that point with this character. Really, if I look at my stats here, I probably wouldn't have done 31 vitality. I most likely would have stayed at 30, gone to 40 endurance and 50 strength, and then focused on anything else. But since I never planned on playing this character after this walkthrough, I kind of just continued vitality a little bit haphazardly. But we only spent one extra point in there when I normally would just cap it at 30. So what we're going to plan on doing going forward is spend the rest in strength. Alright, so this is actually taking us back into the room or the chamber area where we fought Mikolash. There's honestly not much purpose for this in my opinion. It just connects the zones, but there's really no need for us to use this. I think it's really there to allow you to get out of this area if you aren't aware of this broken wall. So you probably, if you don't know about this over here, you probably think that that's the natural connection there. Alright, so what we're going to be doing is just dropping down here. I like to do this a little slow because I don't trust camera angles and such. You're going to take damage. You really can't avoid that. And here is the blood rock. This is super important. It is the final upgrade item to max out your equipment. So we will definitely be using that on our axe. And then here we go. We just drop down here. Now, this takes us to the area that we kind of begin at. If you go in there, there's that massive room with spiders. So we want to follow this guy. And there's a couple things we're planning on doing here. Now, these guys at the beginning are harmless, but we might as well get the extra blood echoes. Whoop. Okay. Almost called them blood points. I've been playing a bit of Dead by Daylight on the PC. So if you guys ever want to play some of that, make sure to check out the streams and join in, because I play with viewers. We'll just keep killing these guys. The ones up top here are, I'm not going to say friendly, but they're not aggressive. But when you move down there, they start getting a little bit of aggro. Whoa, that was completely soundless. That was weird. Alright, let's just go ahead and extend this. Okay. It'd be nice if they kind of group together. Whoop! I pressed R1 and it didn't swing. Okay, and I'm really only killing these ones up top here. Alright, so now that we can sit here and kind of look over what's below us, again, we've been through this area, you should be familiar with it, but what our objective is here is to get to that open elevator. Alright, so we're just going to run straight to that. You might take a hit or two from one of these big boys, so I would say go to this side. Watch out for the one that tries to push you. He's going to be around the corner here. So I just go ahead and say roll through him and then walk onto this. Now, you might get hit when you get into the cage, but they're not going to be able to bump you out of it, so don't panic. Alright, looks like we're at our destination. Do you trust? So yeah, if you look here, you can kind of see there's something crazy looking in front of us. Now, don't be scared. I mean, you really should be, honestly. But I can tell you now, this thing is completely harmless. It is basically destroyed in all manner of speaking. Now we just need to deliver the killing blows. And the funny thing is, it actually takes a shit ton of hits to kill. So before we do anything like that, what we're going to do here is use the make contact gesture right in front of it and just hold it. That is a long-ass time to wait, huh? I would think most of you would be expecting that it's not working, but in fact, you just basically wait until it switches the pose, and you're rewarded with this Moon Carol Stone, or, yeah, Carol Stone. We'll check it out. See if I can remember. There we go. Okay, and it is the last one here. A secret symbol left by Carol Runesmith of Bergenworth, a transcription of Moon as spoken by the Great Ones inhabiting the Nightmare. Gain more blood echoes. The Great Ones that inhabit the Nightmare are sympathetic in spirit and often answer when called upon. So this is the highest tier of the Carol Stone for Moon, and it'll very much help you in acquiring more blood echoes to level up your character or spend on some loots. Alright, so that's nice. Make sure to do that before you kill the creature. I think you could probably do it after you attack it, but there's no point. Make sure that you don't make any mistake by doing it beforehand, because that's the only thing I can confirm 100% works. Alright, so now we just gotta beat this thing to death. It doesn't give you many blood echoes. I think it's like 2,000 or so, which is kind of crazy. So the reward is essentially what we just got from it. You do get a very rare item, but it's used for the blood chalices. So if you do the chalices, this is definitely something that you want to do. But if you're not a chalice player, then you may not want to spend the 2 minutes of your life that it takes to kill this thing. Now imagine trying to face this creature if you didn't drop it down into the abyss. Just the damage you have to deal to it alone to kill it is insane. Alright, almost there. There we go. The living string. I like the whole like raining blood effect. It's pretty nice. I actually know exactly how they made that because I've done something similar in After Effects. Alright, so what you would do here to check out your new item is go to your materials. You can see the living string. Special material used in a holy chalice ritual. The immense brain that Mensis retrieved from the nightmare was indeed lined with eyes on the inside, but they were of an evil sort, and the brain itself was terribly rotten. But even still, it was a legitimate great one, and left a relic, a living relic at that, which is a precious thing indeed. Lots of creepy stuff in this game. This is one of them. Alright. So we're going to head back to the elevator here. I've never like tried to wander around. I'm pretty sure there's going to be like invisible barriers to this. But thankfully the light on the elevator here will always guide you back to it. You shouldn't be able to get lost. Alright, so once you get off of this, I would just suggest headed back over here. It's a little bit easier than running over to the other elevator where the cage is, because that's probably not there yet, and you'll have to hit the switch, wait for it, avoid the archers, avoid the big boy. No real reason to do that when you can just head over here. Sweet. Now what you're going to want to do is go ahead and rest here. We're going to return to the Hunter's Dream. Okay. So before we spend any blood echoes, we're going to make sure to upgrade our weapon here. There we go. Nice. Maxed out. And I know I'm not going to use any other weapon throughout the remainder of the game, so I'm not going to spend any upgrade materials on this stuff. But I would say this is probably the time to start focusing on your secondary and any third or fourth, fifth weapon sets that you enjoy. Because now that you've got the axe maxed out, you can really focus on spending materials elsewhere. I would say potentially focus on another gun, something like that. So I'm going to use the blunderbuss because, like I said, this is the tail end of this character's life, and we will just max out the stuff that I'm using specifically. Alright, so we'll go to the blood gem fortification. Again, the axe. And we'll start focusing on where we can make improvements. This physical attack up 18%. I'm not going to be able to best that. So we'll go to the next next set there. Physical attack up 12.6. That is an improvement because the other one is for blunt only. So we'll swap that out, and then we'll continue to scroll through here and see what else we can get. I'm just looking at the red numbers for now. Okay, so this one is very good for us, but we can actually put that in our last slot because it's probably going to be an improvement over this attack up 9.1. Yep, so here we're going to put this tempering damp blood gem, and that's actually what we got on the bridge after we killed the 3 walking eyeball brain creatures, and I pointed out that we were going to want this item specifically. So now we've got some really good physical attack, especially with the blunt damage on the axe, and as we continue to invest in our strength, we're going to get better and better with that. So yeah, we're looking pretty good here. We've got some insight, so if you're running low on you know, materials like bolt paper and such, I would suggest spending on that. If for some reason you haven't purchased any of the attire that you can get with your insight, definitely get that. There's really not much reason for you to be holding on to insight on your first playthrough. Okay, so I would suggest if you've gotten all the attire sets, don't spend your insight on stones, because you can acquire that stuff through just killing enemies pretty easily. So the one thing that you can't get on a consistent basis without spending money is bolt paper. So definitely invest in this. That's probably my best advice there. Blood cocktails are good. Basically anything that's going to help you defeat bosses specifically, because those are always going to be the biggest challenge. Everything else you should be able to get by without any extra. Alright, so we'll just buy 7 of these to get a nice round number of 10. Okay. Just drop down. Alright, so let's go ahead and speak with the doll here.
Well, what is it? Very well, let me...
Alright, so we know that we need 36k for our next upgrade.
Farewell, good.
We'll go ahead and start using blood echoes. Or, sorry, cold blood. Alright, and so since we needed 36k, we'll know that the next number will need to be a little bit less than 40. So we're going to aim for about 77, 78k. So let's see what we got. We'll do the 6 here. Alright, this will definitely get us 2 levels, and then we'll see what we got after that.
Very well, let...
Okay, 38. So as you can see, I definitely haven't been using these, so this is a great opportunity for us to round out some of our stats here. All right.
Welcome, what is it? Very well, let...
Okay.
Farewell.
We're going to stop there, and we'll return to the same place we went at the beginning, the middle. So this time we're going to continue up the stairs. We'll go ahead and kill these guys again, though. Why not? Okay. So what we're going to want to do is attack these bad guys immediately. Okay, once you get Solo, we'll deal with him. These guys pretty much drop items that you'll want to use. They're good to farm for blood vials. The reason we attack so quickly and pretty recklessly is because we don't want to aggro that guy up there. We don't want to give them a chance to close the distance and make this a 3v1 instead of a 2v1. So once it's just us, we'll sprint up the stairs, take advantage that they're a caster, close the distance. There you go. Okay. So we're going to have a couple different paths here. Don't remember. I don't think. No. Okay. I was going to say, I don't think there's an item over there, but wanted to be sure I didn't leave something for you guys. When we get to the left side of this railing here, we're going to find an item. We're not in any danger. Don't worry. 2 chunks. Oh, yeah. Going down this stairway here is a dead end, so don't bother with that. So what we're going to want to do is approach that piglet. Just walk up to it really slow. It's not going to roam. It's just like the first pig we ever encountered in this game. You can land a nice R2 if you approach it the right way. Of course, you've got a terrible view the entire time. But there, as you can see, very easy fight right there. Then we've got this broken railing here. If you look down below, there is a nightmare creature. So if we drop right here, we're going to take extra damage. So what we want to try to do is roll a little bit this way and take less damage. Okay. So just approach this guy. There's no enemy waiting for us right here. This is not a trap. So if it gets away from you, don't be worried about it. You can chase it down. We will approach 2 enemies at the end on this balcony here. You can see one of them standing right there. He's got his back to us. But we still want to approach slowly, and we're going to deal with them second because there's a friend of theirs waiting in the cubby here that wants to get the jump on us too. So just walk behind, target, charge up, and you're all good. Now we can do the same to his friend. Nice. And you got to know that this guy's not, like, trying to pretend that he's guarding something. He's truly there to bait you into coming to attack him so his buddy can get the jump on you. It's a nice tactic, but we're smarter than they are. So we grab the stones, and we're going to go to the top of the stair and wait around this wall here. So you've got 4 enemies to deal with. We can pretty much separate them. When they start going back that way, you can throw pebbles. Try to throw it at 1 or 2. It's hard to hit them, to be honest. So I throw it at this guy, so I might get the attention of him. If you try to throw it at the one at the very rear, it's easy to miss. Oh wow, that should have gone through. We were still able to regain off of that too. That's nice. Alright. So I like to try to get more behind. Because if you throw from the side, it falls behind them and completely misses. Alright, so I don't want the caster to just stand there, but he's going to do it. So I'm going to close the distance and make him want to fight me. Okay. The caster won't always do that, but if he just starts that behavior, he's probably not going to break it because there's really no reason for him to. I don't think these guys are much of a threat, but the only way they're going to kill you is if you don't respect them. So fight them one-on-one if you can. And I would almost consider that one-on-one because we know we can take them out with a charge. So if they're going to come down the stairway single file like that, it's again no threat. We're going to hold off on going up the stairs. And we're going to clear out these piglets. These aren't very tough enemies to face, but you're going to want to get the one that trails. And you should be able to dodge it pretty well when it charges. Come here, big boy. Oh my god. Okay. Well. There's always one of those moments, huh? I don't know what happened. I was smashing the dodge button, and it's like my guy just shit his pants and froze and got absolutely slaughtered. Well, that was nice. All right. I just ate my own words. Cool. Well, we can get back there really quickly. All right, we're back with our pig friends here. That bastard in the back. Wait. Was it him? I don't think it was him. It was the one on the left, but the guy that I killed somehow got my blood echoes. How the hell? You son of a bitch. I did kill one of them, didn't I? Uh-oh. I had to cancel out of that attack as quickly as I could. Oh, come on. Why are you not dead? It made a sound like that other pig was headed my way. I didn't understand that one squeal. So you see how I moved to the side there? The reason I did that, oh my god. We do just enough damage to almost kill them. So the reason I moved to the side is because if it does start to charge me, I'm already strafing, and it's just almost impossible for that thing to hit me the way that it did at the first time. I was literally standing right in front of it and trying to play chicken with it to do the side dodge. The problem with that is when you're targeted, or when you have the camera lock, you don't have that like freedom to go completely to the side. You guys know me, I say it all the time, I don't like to use camera lock, but some instances I get kind of used to it, and in fact in the boss fight I'll be using camera lock because of the tactic that I like to use for that fight. There's nothing else up here to hurt us, so we'll just grab the rest of this loot here. This edge right here where we see all this blood, that's where we killed the first pig with its back to us. So yeah, we are not going to have any more enemies to face besides the boss. So let's go ahead and work our way over there. Don't be startled by this. It's a non-hostile entity. So you can check this out, and after we defeat the boss, if we return here, they will act a little bit differently. There is a chest right here. I kind of was hoping for a better item than what we get. It's still a nice, very useful item. It's Yosefka's blood vial, and you should know by now what that is. But it's kind of strange to get it here. I know there's a reason, but still, I want more. Alright, so for the boss fight, we're just going to go ahead and put that vial there, and then we're also going to have our bolt paper. So that should be useful for us. And you can use this to go down to the other lamppost, but I prefer this area here. So we have this because I killed that guy on the way back after I died to the boar. So yeah, you won't usually see that there. Alright, so I'm just gonna head to this lamp. I really hate taking elevator rides if I don't have to, so that's the reason I choose this lamp over the other. So we will go ahead and actually we'll be able to get 2 more levels with these blood echoes.
Very well, let
Very nice.
farewell, good hunter.
Now, I'm not too concerned with the upcoming boss fight. A lot of people think this is one of the hardest bosses in the game. I don't think so at all. In fact, we're going to be very effective against it. So I am going to get rid of some of the damage reduction and resistance stuff to get some improved soul or blood echo acquisition. So we'll go to the moon And I think I'm going to do so with the Great Lake as well. Okay. So we're going to benefit from the kills there. I would say if you feel like you're going through the game and you're not suffering lots of deaths, definitely consider using these kind of runes to improve your ability to upgrade your character even more so. Alright, and we are ready to go do the fight. What I'll say is we're going to spend most of our time trying to get behind the boss. We're going to use our axe in the normal position here, the shortened position, and we're going to equip bolt paper. So we'll start off like this. If we get in some kind of emergency situation, we can consume the blood vial, but I typically won't use it there. Okay, so we're going to go back to the middle. Now I know I just said I think this boss fight is easy, so that means that we're going to die 100 times, and I'm going to smash my controller into pieces, because that's how it goes, right? The only thing I would say to you is when you step on elevators, once it gets to where it goes, send it back. That way, if you do die through the process of the fight, when you make your way back to the boss fight, it's less frustrating. Because there's nothing worse than waiting on each elevator to arrive on your way back to the fight. It's really a pain in the ass. I got used to doing that in Dark Souls. And of course, this game has a very similar mechanic to it. Alright. So once you get to the little baby carriage in the middle there, the fight will start. So I use the bolt paper right before we get to that. We'll get a little cutscene and then everything begins. The boss is rather large. It's got very wide sweeping blade attacks, but the attacks mostly occur in front of it and to the sides of it. So if you can get directly behind it, you'll be able to deal a lot of damage without being hit for big damage yourself. You will take hits occasionally, but you should be able to power through those. Just be prepared to use your blood vials. I would say there's an uppercut attack that they swing from their left side. So if you can dodge to your left when you're facing it, or to the enemy's right side, you will have a good chance of completely evading that attack. But again, that's if you're a front-facing enemy. We want to be behind them at all times. So I'm not even going to try to attack its front, okay? And that's where the key to victory comes. Do not waste time attacking the front of the creature, because that is the only place that you can take severe damage. There are phases that seem to come random with the boss. It's not really based off of like how much health it has, but it can go into this like shadow form where it can summon a clone. And in that phase, I would just say do your best to not fight at all and keep on the move and dodge and just run it out until it gets to the normal situation, and then you'll just try to get behind the wet nurse and defeat it that way. You'll see, it works out really well. We're going to do great damage with what we've got, and we're ready to make one of the more difficult bosses, apparently. That's what I read, what people say. One of the easier ones. So let's go ahead and do it. 1,000 deaths. Here we go. Alright, so we'll do that teleportation thing every once in a while. When it walks forward like that, that's an actual great opportunity for you to get attacks. Alright, so because it's against the wall, we're going to move back, let it come to us. And that's what we don't want, but that's okay. Unfortunately, if you give it enough space, it may do that, but when it had its back against the wall, we really didn't have much of an opportunity here. Now, what I'm pretty confident happens here is if it goes into this phase early in the fight, when you don't have... when it's not like half health or something, it won't summon a clone. But I think once it's pretty well damaged, and you get into the later half of the fight, it will summon assistance. But still, the tactic is the same. You stay on the move. You should not get hit when it's just one of them, because as you can see, we can keep a very significant range from it and not run into any issue. Alright, once it's back to normal, we're just going to get it. Oh, it looks like it's... okay. Thought it was going to do that again back to back. That was going to be quite sad. Oh, wow. See, I love that attack, but it's only if we can get behind it. It's just been living on the wall right now. Ooh. See how it was to the if I dodge that to the left? Yeah. It's been keeping its back to the wall a little bit more than I want. Come on. Come to me. Yeah, when you can't see the attack it's doing, I would just say try to separate. Alright, we're in a good spot here. Yeah, that's it. As you can tell, there was really no significant danger there. Now the weird thing is when you kill it, it takes a long time to show. Like obviously we know we've killed it, but if this is your first playthrough, you're kind of panicking right now because you're like, oh god, there's another phase. Something terrible. And then all of a sudden, victory. Or as Souls veterans know it, victory. So well done everybody. This is the important part. We get the 1/3 of the umbilical cord. Alright, so now we're going to tap this lamp. I'll go ahead and show you what the, what that, I don't know, I want to call it an NPC, but it's not really. I mean, it is an NPC, but it's hard to call it a character because it really doesn't do anything. Oh. I don't know why I sent that elevator back. I was doing it more for a learning or a teaching moment for you guys, but at the same time, I was extremely confident we weren't going to die there. Alright, so when we approach her, she will bow and fade away. I mean, it's not really very significant, but it's something. It's a little something something. Okay, so you can step back on the lift here. We'll head to the lamp, then return to the hunter's dream. We've got some loot to spend, and we're going to see some changes there. Okay. Quite a different scene, huh? So let's talk to the doll.
Good hunter, you have come. Dawn will soon break. This night and this dream will end. Gammon awaits you at the foot of the great tree.
Alright, so what she's actually saying in layman's terms are the game is almost over. If you go deal with Gammon, you can't really turn back. So do everything that you want to do before you engage Gammon.
Very well.
So let's go ahead and bump that strength. We're going to be able to get it to 50 here after we consume. And that is really nice. What a great spot to get to. Oh wait, maybe I should have done more. I thought those were stronger. Let's just overspend, why not? Okay.
Gammon awaits you.
Oh, I know, baby.
Very well.
Let's go. Sweet.
Farewell, good
All right.
hunter.
So we're in a great spot here. What we'll be doing in the next episode is basically tying up loose ends, getting everything that we need before we deal with Gammon, and accomplishing the true ending, which is what you came here for, right? You want to get as much as you can out of the game, and that's what I aim to deliver. So hopefully you guys have been enjoying this series. I will say confidently that the next episode will be the final. Like, we'll put a conclusion on this guide. It does not include the DLC. I may do that at a later point in time, but I just don't have the ability to commit any time to that. As you can tell, this series has been drawn out. My life has been in one hell of a blender lately, so a lot is going on, and I just really can't commit to doing any more of this series. But to be truthful, I never set out with intentions to do the DLC, and that's why we're not doing any of the chalice stuff or anything like that. So this is just core game completion aspect. But we have come a long way. We've done a lot in the game, and we are set up for much success against Gammon and maybe an additional boss for the true ending. We'll have to see how it plays out. So thank you guys for being so very patient. I really do appreciate it. I hope you can come hang out when I do stream on Twitch. It's not as often as I'd like to, but at this point we're doing Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. So we'd love to have you come hang out, say hello, and hopefully I'll see you there. All right, we'll catch you in the next episode, everybody. Have a good one. Take care.